Hey guys, Timothée here for the first vlog of the channel. I'm currently going to Ikebukuro to the One Piece card game official store in Tokyo. I'm going to participate in the launch event of OP06 today. I hope it's a sealed event because I don't have any cards from OP06 yet, so I'm going to get crushed if I only come with my old Sakazuki deck. But if I do have some booster to open, I'll film you the opening and I see you guys there. Okay, so just finished today's event, just coming up from it. Sadly, it wasn't a sealed event, so I had to play with my old Sakazuki deck. Well, it was okay because I didn't face a lot of new deck, only Yamato, which is really strong, lost twice against her. Every time, it wasn't a clear victory for him, but still a loss for me. But Sakazuki is a great deck, even against NR, for example, which was playing some of the new cards. I still managed to get the win. I played against Purple Luffy also. Yeah, Sakazuki really is a strong deck. But for now, I'm going to buy some new OP06 cards because I'm going to need to play Yamato tomorrow if I want to actually train for the new meta. Okay, here we are for day 2 of the launch events. So yesterday I had time to buy all my Yamato cards, so I'm going to test the deck. So yesterday evening was the regional championship, the first one in OP06. A lot of interesting things happened, like for example 2 Yamato deck lists on the top 16, and both of them were playing a Fishman build, which is very interesting. I didn't thought about it at all for now, especially the new Arlong cost 4 that says on play you can discard 1 card and and make sure your opponent cannot attack on the next turn with his leader, which is very good against Moria. He can use his effect. Against Yamato, you stop her from using her double attack. So very, very good card I knew about, but strangely didn't thought about putting in the deck. Maybe I was too focused on the Land of Wano cards. So I guess I will be testing the card in the near future for the rest of the deck lists. I'll be looking into it for the other Fishman card. It allows you, for example, to play the Fishman Searcher that, unlike Momo, can only search on play, but it's pretty good because when you play Momo in Yamato, usually you play on turn 1 and then you only use the search on turn 5 or 7 dawns, because before you need to use all your dawn on your leader attack. So he just stands there and do nothing for a while. So yeah, I guess Fishmen are something I'm going to look into. So for now, I'm sticking with my Land of Wonder deck list, and this is the deck list I'm going to play today. Okay, so as you can see, I've made some changes since last video. Let's get over them, and if you have any question about cards that I have not talked about today, please watch the previous video or feel free to ask in the comments. So the first change is Onami. I added a 4th copy of her because her trigger is so good and because I also use her banish effect way more often than I initially thought. Next is the first new addition of the deck, Inuarashi. He's a 4-cost 5k Land of Wonder character that KOs a character with cost less or equal to your opponent's life when he attacks and has 2 dawn attached. I play him to get rid of low cost blockers and for his trigger that helps the deck to generate a strong board. Next is Zoro. I took out 2 copies of him because I needed to make place for other cards, and as I don't play either cost 3 Mihawk or Oshimaru anymore, he is less interesting to have in the hand than before. But His trigger is still great, so I choose to not get rid of him entirely. The next card is another new card, and it's Satori. He replaces 4-cost kanji blocker because he has a 2k counter, which is great in the mirror matchup where you don't want to be the first to take a leader attack. For the few tests I made on the simulator, I don't think I miss a blocker, but depending on today's results, I might replace it with Sanji again. Now for the Mama. She is so good to be play on curve. It is so dangerous for your opponent to give you a life point that he will usually lose a life. Or that it was you think would happen. In reality, if you pressure your opponent enough, he will not have a choice but to give you a life point, or he will not have enough lives and cards in his hand to survive another turn. Now, as you can see, there are no NR anymore and the 4th copy of Roddy Jones appeared. That is because I usually don't need the additional pressure on the next turn because he's the game closer. I usually play him thinking, there is no way I don't win this turn, but if I don't, then I lost. It's so hard for your opponent to have more than 2 blockers on the field that it's rare to not finish the game the turn I play him. Finally, the last card is a new card. Reject is a cost 4 event that either KOs an opponent character with a cost of 5 or less, like blockers for example, but it can also deal damage to your opponent if it's his last life point. Being able to KO a blocker is particularly interesting because sometimes you don't draw Hodi to get rid of the blockers, but I haven't actually tested the card yet, so I'll see if I get convinced during the event. Now that you know the list I'm going to play, it's time to hit the event. Okay, good evening, just coming back from today's event. So let's start with the overall score. So I went 5 wins, 5 losses. I guess it's not a bad score in itself, but clearly not what I'm looking for if I want to get competitive in the current meta. If I had to give my thoughts on the deck today, I would say that it really lacks stability. Like, if I don't draw Big Mom or Roddy Jones, basically I'm going to have a very hard time to get the win. And also I'm really relying way too much on my triggers. If I lack characters in my triggers that are able to play themselves, then I'm going to not be able to be aggressive enough to actually get the win. So I'm going to need to build the deck with a less RNG. That means I'm going to look more into the Fishman build I've told you about this morning. But I've also been told by a friend that he has built up a Sky Island version of the deck. And I really like the Sky Island version, so normally next time we see each other I should be able to give a new, completely fresh new list, and it shouldn't be relying that much on triggers. It's really fun, like if you want to have some games with friends. I really definitely recommend the deck, but competitively I'm going to need to find something else. And I would like to thank you very much again for all the comments I got on the last video. Thank you very much, really gives me motivation to go in it. Thank you very much, and see you in 2 weeks for the next update.